I would warmly welcome you all to the Vipasana Meditation Center. So this is actually it's called Vipasana Meditation Center. So firstly, I would briefly explain about meditation and about a little bit about the Buddhist philosophy, and then you can ask questions if you have any about the teachings of Buddhism and about meditation that I talked about, or about your mind or anything that you want about this place or anything. So I would like to start the discussion with explaining a little bit more about meditation, what we do here as Vipasana. So firstly, I would like to explain to you what is meditation. So the meditation practices in the world comes in two major ways. There are two major ways that which has done meditation in the world. So the most commonly used practice of meditation that we know of in the world is mostly commonly widely used is called concentration meditation, where you concentrate your mind into a certain point. You may have to sit down in a quiet place. Some people ask you to put your hand above the other, close your eyes, and you try to concentrate your mind into a sound that you hear, or into a thought in your mind. Or what is most commonly used is your breathing, your concentration about your breathing. You concentrate your mind for a long time. Even though there are lots of thoughts coming in, you try to take them out of your mind, and you try to concentrate your mind into a certain point, into some certain point. Maybe your breathing, maybe your stomach, maybe a thought in your mind, maybe a sound of the fan. It can be anything. So in that meditation way as well, if you practice it for a long time, if you keep on practicing, do that as well, you have to have certain level of determination, you have to have courage, you have to make sacrifices. You have to do that for a long period of time to achieve a bliss from this meditation way as well. So if you do this for quite some time, this practice as well, what you will achieve a bliss within yourself that will go beyond the worldly pleasures that you will have. It will be a bliss that you will achieve that will go beyond the worldly pleasures. You can, what I mean by worldly pleasures is when you achieve some targets in your life, you will achieve some happiness, right? So if you practice this meditation, the concentration meditation, you will achieve a bliss that goes beyond that. There's another way of meditation as well. We call it Vipasana. So in the first meditation method, in concentration meditation, even though it gives you a great bliss from within you, there's a bit of a problem within it. The problem being, let's say you have done meditation. I have met people who has done concentration meditation for 10, 15 years of their life. But even after their meditation, even after they achieved some kind of bliss, when they go back to their normal life, when we go back to their social life, when we go back to their worldly life, as work, to live with their family, when they come across a situation where they get angry, that bliss that they achieve from this meditation, concentration meditation, will not help them. They will be angry, they will be upset to the same extent that they were before, even after doing this meditation. So in that moment, for you to find this bliss, that bliss and peace in your life, you would have to go back to the meditation, and you will have to sit down and do that meditation. So I explained that there are two types of meditation, right? So the second type is, we call it Vipasana. So that is what we try to practice here. So what is Vipasana? Vipasana is not about concentrating your mind. Vipasana is about understanding your mind. Vipasana is about understanding why there's suffering in our minds. Vipasana is about understanding why the cause of the suffering of our lives. So we know, as every human beings, from our childhood up until now, everything that we did, the purpose that we did all these things is to find pleasures, happiness in life, right? From the moment of our birth, everything that we are supposed to do, everything that we are trained to do, we were trained, okay, do this and you will be happy. First, we get education from our parents, from our society. With education, we had the idea, okay, I'm going to become a great person and get some, as in do a job and be successful in life. So that is finding pleasures in life. After our education, we go on to have relationships. in order to find these pleasures in life. After that, we go on to do a job. Then we go on to have married. Then we go on to get married. Then we have kids. Then you go on trips. There are lots of so many different kinds of ways in this world where there are people searching for happiness in life. But with their search for this happiness in life, what all of them will come across is the suffering component that comes with it. Even though they go on search for this happiness in life, naturally, they will come across suffering in life as well. So, what in Vipassana, what we try to do is understand how to get rid of this suffering. Understand why there's suffering in our lives. To understand what causes this suffering of our lives. So, normally, what we humans, as we are trained to do, what we normally think as suffering is like this. Now, when you come across a problem in your life, when you come across some sort of situation where you are angry, where you are upset in life, we always point our finger towards some other person who is outside, okay, saying, okay, you are the reason why I'm like this. You are the reason that I'm suffering in life. The government is the reason why this is happening to us. Our parents are the reason. In some part of some situation in our lives, parents was the cause of our suffering. So for me, as an example, for me as well, when I was a kid, there were moments where I was angry, I was upset because of my parents, because they blamed at me. So in our lives, what we always try to do is we try to point our finger towards the outside world, saying, okay, you and you, or you, our neighbors, the politicians, the governments, our parents, our loved ones, those are the reason that why I'm suffering in life. But in Vipassana, what we try to teach, what we try to understand is, the cause of my suffering is not really a person who is outside from me. In Vipassana, what we try to understand is, the cause of my upsetness, the cause of my suffering is actually within me. It is my own way of thinking that make me unhappy in life. Because we, from our minds, have created certain pictures, and we are getting attached to those pictures, and we are saying, okay, this is good and this is bad. In the world that we live, there is no such thing as good and bad. There is a good and bad according to the society that we live, but it is not the reality. In our society that we live, we have created so many things as frames. Those are good, those are bad. This is like so many different kinds of concepts. Those are there for us to make a good living. But when these concepts become real in your mind, you will try to attach yourself to these extremes which is happening around us. And you will try to reject the other side of it. So this is what I meant by understanding your mind. You will have to understand the creations that is happening within yourself. The creations that are happening within yourself is not wrong. It is just like, for an example, this cup. The purpose of this cup is for us to drink water, right? So the purpose of a car is for us to help travel to another place, right? So the purpose of a mind that we use is there. The purpose of a mind would be to create thoughts. The purpose of a mind is always to create thoughts. The duty of a mind is to create thoughts. So there's nothing wrong with creating thoughts in your mind. But what the problem is, you becoming attached to those thoughts that are coming in. You thinking, okay, these things that are coming into my mind, those are the truth. Those are the reality. And you try to attach yourself to an idea and you try to reject the other side of it. So when that happens, you will be a person, for an example, let's say you are in this hall, right? So there are 3 doors here which you can go out. But if you try to go through a wall, you will get yourself hurt, right? So there are 3 doors that you can go outside. But rather than using a door, you're trying to go through the wall. So when you try to do that, you will hurt yourself. So likewise, the world that is happening around us, it has a certain rhythm to it. It has a certain way of it. But after you have created some imaginations in yourself, and you try to believe those imaginations as true, then you are trying to move through the walls and you will get yourself hurt. I will tell you another example. When you look up at the sky, every day you can see a blue sky, right? We see the sky as blue. But if a person decides that he wants to go up and touch this blue sky, that which is up there, he will never find a place to touch and say, okay, this is the sky that I saw, right? There are people who went to the moon who crossed that blue sky, but they never met up the sky, right? So for me, sitting down here, looking up at the sky is always a reality. It is true to me. When I look up right now as well, I can see a blue sky. But if I go up there to touch this blue sky that I'm seeing, I cannot touch it, right? Similarly, your mind has created thoughts. You have ideas. You have frames within yourself. Those are like the blue sky. If you believe it to be true, and you try to tangle with it, you try to fight with it, you try to get angry with it, you try to be happy with it, all of these things become real when your sky that you saw is real. But in reality, the sky that you're seeing up there is not real. It is just there. It is an illusion. All of these creations are inside your mind. You are the one who's breaking them into two parts. This is good and this is bad. This is what I should do and this is what I should not do. So, in basically, what Vipasana is about understanding how your mind works. Does that make sense? A little bit. So, if you have any questions regarding what I said, you can ask them. Or else you can, if there is any more questions about yourself, about Buddhism, yes.
So the second method, you come to understand the mind, how the mind works. You understand one thing is the controlling is another thing. Like if you understand what's happening, but if in a different situation, you're back to it's still affected by your own creation, right? How to, how to permanently change to control your mindset.
How to?
Yeah.
How to?
Yeah. How to, if you understand the mind, how it works, it's not enough, right? It's not how to control your mind, how to see everything in a certain way, as it is, separate for your own mind. It's the second message I'm talking about. Questions.
It's like this.
Yeah.
Now, understanding the mind is like this. Now, like I said, the purpose of a mind would be to create thoughts, right? So the creation of these thoughts is not a bad thing. So why do you need to understand it? Is the reason because your mind always get attached to those ideas that are coming in. That is how we are trained to live. We are trained to live in a certain way. That is not a bad thing. What you have to do is you have to understand this process of your attachment. So what happens is when you try to realize, when you are aware about your mind, you will get certain hints. Okay, my cause of my anger, the cause of my suffering is actually because I was attached to those mental images that are coming inside my mind. So when you realize that, your mind will automatically come into a middle path. In that process, you will not get, because you from your mind knows, you from your own experience knows that because of my attachments, because of my rejections in my mind, I am suffering. So you will let go of these expectations that you have towards the outside world. It won't happen now. From tomorrow on, you cannot say that I will not have expectations. It doesn't work like that. You will normally have expectations when you go on, right? But what happens is when you have understood these expectations you will lose the attachment towards those expectations automatically. When that happens, you will become a more peaceful being. And at the end, you will attain the enlightenment that Buddhism speaks about. Yes.
Do I understand correctly that initially what you were saying is that there is no objective reality, there is only perception. So reality is just simply what you perceive, but there is no actual reality. Is that what you're saying?
It's like this. What is actual reality is something that you cannot name. You cannot say as, okay, this is reality. Because every reality that you see, you're using a mind to name it. There's only one reality in this world, and that is the truth that we are trying to find. Other than that, all the other things that you see is through your perception. This cup of water, the way it is, the thoughts that are coming into my mind will not be the same thoughts that are coming into your mind. If I say one word, I can say, write a speech about your mother. So when I say the word mother, the thoughts that are coming into your mind will not be the thoughts that are coming into my mind. The good and the bad that we see in life. What is good for me will not be what is good for you. So what is real? We cannot name something as real because it is always perception as we see it. Even the things that we see around us, the names that has been given to the same object will differ from one another. If in your culture, in your country and your culture, if there's no name for this object right here, if there's no invention as such, now in Africa, let's say in Africa or somewhere, there are people who's living like who are not like socialized. So those people are not yet invented some stuff that we are using right now. So for those people, they don't have the idea of some objects that we use right now. So if we show them and say, okay, what is this? They don't know what it is. So does that mean that it is not a reality for them? Or is it not a reality for us? So every reality that you see, every reality that we can talk about, it always comes from our minds. It always comes from our past information that we had. It always comes with past data that we had. So for right now, the thing is this. Right now, this is all a reality for us. Right? Now, suddenly I cannot say this is not a reality for me. I can touch it, I can feel it, I know it to be true. For right now, this is a reality. But what you will experience from within you in the future is that this is all a creation, this is all an illusion, that this is all a dream. That is something yet to be understood. That reality, what you said as this is not reality, will be understood when you have achieved that enlightenment that we speaks about. Until that moment, this is all reality for all of us. Does that make sense?
So how do you separate physical suffering from mental suffering? So if you're a 10-year-old child and you're being physically abused by a relative, your father or mother, I mean, that is, black and blue arms, cuts, whatever, that's physical reality.
Yes.
So how is that different than mental suffering?
Okay, it's like this. Now let's say trying to walk down from here, I fall down and I hurt my leg. So that pain will be there. I can feel that pain. So to cure that pain, to cure the physical pain that you feel, you will have to channel a doctor. You will have to channel a physician and say, okay, I have hurt myself. Give me some medicine to heal myself. But in the same instance, because of your falling down, because of as you example given, because of a abuse that someone has faced, he will feel a multiplication of his same body pain in his mind because of thinking about the situation. He will think about that, and he will get lots of suffering because of thinking about that. So the Buddhist approach is not to cure your body pain. The Buddhism approach is to cure your mental suffocation. So in the example that you gave, he will have the bodily pain that he has because of he hurt himself. He has the body pain. To cure that, you will have to channel him to a doctor. But we can cure this mental problem that he has, the stress, the anxiety, the depression that he will face because of the incident that has happened. We can cure that through Vipasana meditation. Yes.
How did you decide to become a monk? Why did you choose this path?
It's like this. When I was 17 years old, I listened to discussion sermons which are done by our chief monk. He's not here, actually he's in Colombo. He's the one who usually does this. So I listened to his sermons and I realized something. Realization was, now there's some deeper meaning in life. There's something that needs to be searched. Like from myself, I had all the luxurious things that I needed in my life. I had money, I had like normal things that people want. But for some reason, when I look around my society that I lived in, a simple situation, a simple scenario is enough to make them angry, to make them upset in life. So in the same situation, after I listened to our chief monk's sermons, I realized, okay, even though you have these materialistic things that you wanted, you will never find the happiness that I have been looking for. So I realized that, and I decided to search for another way of life. So at like 20 years old, I came to this place, and I've been here since.
How many years is that?
6.
So what makes you really happy?
Right now makes me happy.
Just being.
Yeah. I don't, not monk. Monk is also, it's like this now. Being in this moment really makes me happy. I don't have an idea about the future. I have ideas, but this moment is really happy for me. You know, I have where to breathe. I have things to wear. I have people to talk to. That's enough for me. That doesn't mean I'm not a person who has thoughts. I am a person who has no dreams. I have dreams. I have work to do. I have things that I need to attend to. But those will be done in the moment that I have to do them. In every moment in my life, I'm really happy to live. I'm really happy with what I have. I don't really have an idea about what I have to do, what I did. What makes me happy? This makes me happy.
Well, you basically just like live for the moment.
Yeah, you can say that.
What do you do when a fellow monk misbehaves, like loses his temper or misbehaves?
It is according to the situation. Sometimes we have to blame them. Sometimes we have to be compassionate. It depends on the situation and depends on the person that who has done the act.
How many months?
Living here, 26, and there are nuns as well, like 16 nuns who are living.
How do you living? What's your living support?
As I said, our chief monk, he has been doing discussions and sermons like this all around the world. Like, he has devotees around like 100 countries. So those people, they are donors. They are giving donations and they are helping out financially to run this place.
So what is your daily life look like?
We wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then at 4:30 we have a chanting session. After that, we have some cleaning to do here and there, our rooms and surrounding areas. And 6:30 we have breakfast, and then we have lots of work to do in the daytime, because we have started the campus. It is in this place. We have started it like a year and a half ago. There are 200 people who are living here. We have given them accommodation, the food and the education, all that for free. So we have work to do on that regards as well. So it's like this. It differs to one another monk. Some monks go and help in the kitchen to prepare meals. Some people do construction. Some monks and nuns, they cultivate vegetables, and some help in the educational stuff. So it differs in lots of other areas. So at 11:30 we have lunch, and at the afternoon as well we have some work to do in the premises. 6:30 in the afternoon we have a chanting session, and then it's their own time. Maybe they can listen to some sermon, maybe have a discussion, and at like 9-10 we go to sleep.
What are your thoughts on reincarnation?
It's like this. For a person who has desire, for a person who has not understood their minds, that person will have a reincarnation. Because reincarnation happens like this. Reincarnation is that your mind is going forward. So for a mind to go forward, it has to have desire about something in life. For a simple example, I have desire towards a cup of tea. At the very last moment, I have a craving inside my mind, okay, saying, I need to have another cup of tea. If I die with that thought, that person has to reincarnate to drink tea in his life. By so, he has to do all the other things as well. But if there's a person who has a mind that has no desires, that has no attachments towards this outside world, that mind has lost its ego. If he has lost his ego, then there is no such thing to reincarnate. So, by means, the reincarnation has ended.
But if your karma is not done, good karma is when you are reincarnated Is it desire or is it your karma?
Repeat the question. Can you?
Is it your desire that makes you, like you said, gave an example of the cup of tea, your desires? Or is it your karma that you have done that brings you back into the world?
It's like this. Now, let's say I committed an act. So karma is what you get back from that act that you have committed, right? That is what karma is. You have committed some sin or some wrong to some person. You have committed some act to some person, and it is coming back to you. That is karma, right? So a person who has understood their mind, a person who has no desire in his life, that person has lost his ego. So that person has no such idea about I. He has lost that I. So for a person who has no I within himself, he will not create any more karma, because there's no point to karma to collect. So for that person as well, after his enlightenment, the karma that he did, the karma that he has collected so far, he will have to face those consequences until his dying moment in the life that he has achieved his enlightenment. So for other people who has not understood their minds, who have desire inside their minds, those people have that idea of I. Those people have ego. So people with ego, when they commit some act, they are committing with that I inside me. I am doing something. I am hitting someone. I am desirable to drink some tea. So for that person, he will generate more karma. So the reincarnation happens with karma, that is true. But for that to happen, that person must have desire within himself. Makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so the second method, meditation method, the ultimate result is to get rid of the I. Am I understanding correctly?
To some extent, yes. So getting rid of I, that is actually true. But getting rid of I is done by without that idea of getting rid of I. Is a tricky part. So there is no, in your normal lives, for you to attain some target, you should have a destination, you have a path to travel. So in the spirituality practice, there's no path, there's no distance that you have to go. It is only understanding that in your mind. There's no set up path for you to go, okay, go do this, and you will be enlightened. That doesn't happen like that. Getting rid of ego doesn't happen like that. It is about understanding your own thoughts. It is about understanding your own attachments. It is about understanding why you suffer. It is about understanding why there's jealousy and all that is happening inside your mind. When you have understood that, you will lose these attachments that you have towards those ideas. When that happens, ultimately, you will lose the attachment for yourself as well. Hence, you will lose this I. It happens gradually.
So if you attain the level of bliss, so the Thiththagalle, are you giving up pleasure? Are you giving up enjoyment? Because those are I focused. You look at the sunset and say, you think it's beautiful, versus how I see it. So all those things are given up. All those things are lost.
It's like this. You can enjoy those moments even better than you enjoyed before. It's like this. For you to enjoy a moment, for the understanding that you have now, you should come up with a situation and be pleasured from it. You have to see a sunset in a certain way, okay, then you will be happy. So you will have to meet up with some situation. When that situation come together, you will be happy. So for a person without that idea, so for a person without that I, he is in a pleasurable sense, he is in a happy place in every situation of his life. It is not divided, okay, this makes me happy, this makes me unhappy. There is no such thing. Like I said, this moment itself is a great pleasure for me. It has no bounds, it has no frames. The love that I'm giving, it is open to every humans in the world. It is open to every natural things in the world. So likewise, the pleasure that I'm enjoying has no bounds. So when you have lost that I, you will enjoy every moment in your life. Buddhism teaches a way to be happy in life without suffering. So that happiness, the pleasure that you will get is not what you think. It is something else. Because the people that normally knows happiness, it always comes with a materialistic object or a situation that is made up situation in your mind. When those frames get lost from your mind, you will be in a happy place. It is not actually happy. There's no word to explain that, because if you say happy, there's unhappy as well. You are saying happy for a situation, because if that situation doesn't come true, you will be unhappy. So it is not happy, it is not unhappy, it is an experience. I will use the word happy.
So if someone close in your life dies, how are you going to live? You're not going to suffer?
No, it's like this now. When someone of my lives die, what happens for normal people is it's like this. For a normal person, I'm taking normal as in humans, their time, the idea of time that they have, it comes in 3 different types, right? They have the past, they have the future, and they have the present. So when you have that when you have that idea about past and future, you tend to travel with these thoughts, past, the future, and the present. So that is okay. Like I said, if you have a human mind, the purpose of a mind, the duty of a mind would be to create thoughts. So from your thoughts, you will go to the past and you will think about the moments that you have been with that person, and you will think about those things. So when a loved one of yours is dead, you will think about the future. Okay, I will not be with him in the future. So those 2 thoughts that are coming into your mind will make you really upset, because you have not understood these creations of your mind. I'll tell you a simple example. It's like an exercise. I'm going to give you a piece of blank paper. Okay? I'm going to give you a piece of blank paper, and I'm going to give you a pencil. And then I'm going to ask you to draw a demon in it, a devil. It will have like rounded eyes, a long tongue, long teeth. So it's a devil. Then I'm going to give you colors to color that demon that you drew. You're going to color the demon. And then I'm going to take that piece of paper and I'm going to show it to you again and say, okay, be frightened from this picture that you drew. Be sad from the picture that you drew. Can you do that? From your own drawing, can you do that? Can you be afraid of the picture there? Be frightened, be like scared of it. You're going to draw a demon.
Yeah.
You know a demon? A devil. Okay? Then you're going to paint that demon, devil. And then I'm going to show the demon that you drew to you and say, be scared from this painting. Can you do that?
No.
No. Because you know that you are the one who drew it. Right? Because you know I am the one who drew the painting.
No, because I know it's the drawing.
Yeah, you know it's a drawing. But the exact same things happen in your mind. But you are not wise enough to see those paintings. Your mind is creating a picture. I'm going to lose what is happening in the future. I will lose the time that I'm going to spend with him in the future. You will see in your minds paintings about the past of your loved ones that you have been with. So those pictures that you drew has become a demon, and you are frightened from them. You are angry, you are sad from them. But those are just paintings that you have drawn. Those are just paintings that you have colored. Those are just memories. Memories doesn't have values. Those are just memories. When you have given weight to those memories, you are going to suffer in life.
Well, I don't agree with it. Memories have values.
Memories might have values.
You lose the voice of this person, action this.
It's like this. Memories have values. But right now, you cannot do it. Now, let's say you are bored in some situation, right? So can you think about something that has happened, like when you're angry with some person? Can you suddenly think about something that has happened that made you happy and apply it to that situation where you were angry and say, okay, I'm not angry anymore?
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes, most of the time, that doesn't work. Because you are angry at someone, you don't have like control over yourself to think about some other thing and be happy right there. I get what you're saying. Memories have values. I know that. But the thing is, those values have become a weight to yourself. That is why you're angry. That is why you're sad if someone dies, because those memories have become your reality. But those memories are just memories. It does not have any weight. That's what I said.
Has no any what?
Weight, as in like.
So not agree.
Why? Okay. Give me an example. So let's say someone dies. Okay. Or let's take a past memory of ourselves. You can learn from those past memories. You can understand these past memories. There is some weight. But the thing is, when these past memories, now example that our chief monk takes, there was some person who came to our chief monk and said that he's like really stressed out from work. He's stressed out from everything that he has to do. He was a person who has to check emails like 10,000, not 10,000, like 1,000 or so emails every day. And he has to check and everything that he has to do. And he has to check and give replies. And then he's really stressed out with his work. Now, what the advice was for him is to not think about what he did, not think about what he has to do, just check one email at a time. Just check what you have right now, just check it, write a reply, finish it, and then go to the next one. Now, when a moment comes where you have checked like 500 emails, you are very stressed out, not because of the next email that you have watched, that you have to see and do a reply, because you have been thinking, okay, I have been writing 400, I have seen for today 499 emails, and I have to read another 500 emails right today. So that thought about the past, that thought about the future, that is what makes him suffer, and that is what makes him very stressed out in his work. If he can check one email at a time and be done with it, then there is no pressure for him. He will just check an email, okay, let's see, okay, what has happened, and then he will write a reply. Then that's it. So his past memories that he has for 499 other emails, that has value. He has seen it, he has to write a reply, but that is the past. That is just the past. If he thinks too much about that past, then that has weight in his mind. That will be like you're holding an elephant in your head. That is what I meant by what I said before. If you are going now, a mind of ours, it always travels to the past, it will always travel to the future. Like we have seen it. But that experience we all have. But what happens when those memories, when those ideas about the future become real to you? You try to go with those memories. You try to create more pictures. You try to create more and more. You are tangled with it. About the past, about the future. So that process will make you unhappy in life. That process will make you pressured in life.
By checking one email and not checking 499, he's going to get fired.
No.
He lose his job. He'll become very unhappy because there is no income to support his.
It's like this. Now let's take that example again. He has checked, let's say 1,000 emails. Okay. Now he has checked 499. I'm not saying that he has that don't look at the other 500. He has to look at that. Let's say I'll take another example. Okay. Let's say I wake up in the morning. So in here we have lots of work to do, right? Like I said, I have to do some English classes. We have to wake up 4 o'clock every day, and there's a chanting session, all that, and this is also a quite busy place. So in the morning when I wake up, if I'm thinking, okay, today I have to do so many things. I did this yesterday, I did it the day before, I have to do this again tomorrow. So today also I have to do these things. Without thinking about all that, the things will come into my mind. If I don't go with those things more and more, even more, if I get tangled up with those things and go further with those things, without doing that, if I wake up and brush my teeth, one thing is done. People don't really suffer from work they do. They suffer from thinking about the work they have to do and thinking about the work that they had done before. They don't really suffer from what they do. They're always thinking about the things that they have to do. And they're always thinking about the things that they had done.
So your point is just to focus on what you're doing now.
Yes.
Don't worry about future, forget about past, focus on current.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what you're saying?
So for do that, you can't say from now on, I'm going to focus on the future, from the present. I'm not going to think about future. I'm not going to think about past. You can't do that because our minds always travel to these two extremes. But what you can do is, you can understand the future that your mind creates. It's not going to be real. The future that your mind creates is not the reality. It can change. It always changes. The past that you have already endured, there's no point on thinking about it too much. There's no point in regretting the things that you have done. There's no point on regretting your decisions that you have took, because that actions, the things that has happened in the past, that already happened. It is over. When you have understood these two things, you will automatically come into the present. You cannot forcefully stay in the present saying, okay, I'm going to stay in the present. From now on, I'm not going to think about the future. I'm not going to think about the past. You can't do that. That won't happen. In Buddhism, there's a principle called silence. In here as well, whether you have, I don't know whether you've seen it, there are some signs saying noble silence. So this noble silence is not something like not talking to each other. This noble silence is not that we are trying to stay silent. That is not it. Noble silence is attaining silence from your minds. So in your minds, what noble silence is not that thoughts are not coming into your mind. Thoughts will come into your mind, but the weight of those thoughts will have disappeared. So that mind is a silent mind. For a silent mind as well, he can think about so many things. For me as well, I can think about how to do certain things. I can make plans, I can have dreams, I can have all those things. But the weight has lost. It's like a sticker that I have without the gum. I have sticker. You know a sticker? Stickers that you stick in some place. But it has lost its gum. It will not stick. I have dreams. I have plans. I have targets. But the gum has lost. It will not stick. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a lazy person. I'm really working hard. I'm working hard. I wake up in the morning. I do all the things that I have to do. Construction works we have to do. Very busy day. Very hard work. The work will be done. But the end result, there's no expectations. There's no frames into like, this future is going to be like this. Things will happen in the way they are supposed to happen. That mind is a silent mind.
So back to the sorrows question, how you deal with when somebody dies. How would you deal if somebody very close to you died? You say the memories is kind of what holds you back. So how would you deal with it if you lost, let's say, the teacher that's away right now?
We'll bury him, or we'll.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know whether we will bury him or we'll burn him. We will do the rituals.
But the
For the
sorrow that you feel.
No, I won't feel any sorrow.
You won't feel sorrow.
Firstly, I have to go to the situation where my chief dies. Then I can see. But for now, I feel like I won't feel any sorrow because there's no need to be sorrow. Death is also part of life. Everything that lives eventually dies.
Life, but the bottom line is you're never going to see that person again, and your heart.
You don't have to see that person every day.
Pardon me?
You don't have to see that person every day. That is like a misunderstanding that all of us have.
Mm-hmm.
People who are born in this world are not meant to live forever. They have to die at some point.
It's true that they have to die, but
Then what's the...
if you love them so very much,
That is the problem.
that you're not supposed to love them very much.
It's like this. The love that you're talking about is with so many conditions. When you have lost conditions like that, when you have lost all the conditions that you have given for someone, your love is for every... Now it's like this. Let's take a flower. There are roses here. What people really love is a fully blossomed, fully bloomed rose, right? Me, I love every part of that flower. I love the moment it was not formed yet. I love the moment it is like before it blooms. I like the part when it is bloomed. I like the part where it is like it is in the process of getting dyed. It is the whole creation of a flower of rose. When you have lost those attachments, when you have lost those frames in yourself, in your mind, you will love the whole process. The sense of loss comes with your attachments, the creations that is happening inside your mind, the ideas that you have inside your mind. When you get attached to those, when you have created frames within yourself, then you will have sorrow and unhappiness in life.
I and maybe others have been taught for religion to believe. I hear you, it's all about understanding. Is that a difference? Is that
It's like this. Through belief also you can understand. It's like this. Now let's say to understand something as well, you have to believe me. Let's say for example, I'm going to tell you, now I'm telling you a story, right? For you to do what I'm saying, you have to believe me, isn't it so? For you to understand, for you to first understand something, you have to believe the person who's telling these things. And you have to get the idea, okay, he's saying something. So the belief comes like this. Now, let's say you have come into a place or a situation where you want to do a spiritual research about your mind. So first you have to believe the problems are actually inside your mind. So like what you said, you have to believe in Jesus, right? You have to believe in a messenger. All of the religions, in Buddhism as well, we are expected to believe in Gautam Buddha. So what it meant by believing that person is meant by what his message is, believing in his message. When you have believed in that person itself is the message that he carries. So when you believe that person, you will believe his message as well. When you believe his message will be automatically run inside you. So that is what you have to believe in. Belief also comes into play. The world that we live, it comes in dualistic nature. Everything that we do, everything that we see, it always in dualistic nature. Black and white, tall and short, fat and thin, good, bad. Everything is in two parts. When you see some situation, you can say, okay, it has to happen like this, but there's always the other side to it. So in Buddhism, what normal people do is they attach themselves into one part and they reject the other side of that. It is like the same parts in the same situation. It's like the two sides in the same coin. When you come to a teacher, from my own experience, I know from the teacher that I have, when you come to a teacher, you have to believe that teacher, right? You have to believe that person who's preaching you Dharma. In some situations, you are not aware that you have attached yourself to some extreme. So in that moment, your teacher will come and say, okay, you are attached to this. He will not say directly, he will give you some work to do. He will give you some duty to do, and then you have to do it. So by doing it, you're traveling the path. So for you to do that, you have to have the belief. Without the belief, that doesn't work as well. Understanding cannot be done by everyone. Fully enlightenment by yourself, by understanding yourself by yourself, it is a bit hard to do, to go to that ultimate level. So for you to travel there, you should have to believe someone. So belief also comes into play. Yes. You had a question, right?
Oh yeah, about the enlightenment, just you said, based on the Buddhism, any normal people through the meditation or through maybe understand how the mind works, can get the enlightenment. Is that true?
Can get enlightenment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that in your life, did you meet any people, monk or non-monk, he reached that state?
Yes.
What is the mind work that time? Can you give this example? Is there someone you feel that they truly is completely enlightened? Would you like to understand what is the reach the enlightenment? What is the put in the mind of
Mental state.
main state, main one? Yeah. mind.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Not an example for my experience. Huh? So I believe our chief monk to be an enlightened person.
Yeah.
That's my belief. So I've been watching him for like 6 years. So that our chief monk, he doesn't have any like I said, no frames about the world. So he's like a free bird. I don't have words to explain that. So in some situations, he changes the way there's no words actually to explain what that person looks like. There's no setup like some people. We can say some people. Okay, if this situation happens, that person will be angry, right? So we can name some person and say, okay, if this happens, he will be angry. So there's no predetermined situation where we can make that person angry or make that person happy. It doesn't happen like that. It happens in that own time. So enlightened person is not someone who's flying, who's not someone who's going underneath. He's just enlightened about his mind. He's just a free person who can do anything in life. He doesn't have pressure. He doesn't have any attachments. He's like a free bird. I'll give another example. Now, when we started this campus that I told you about, we didn't have any money. It was just his idea. And he said, okay, let's do a campus. And then he started. So without any money, without any resources, like the setup date to start as well, it comes with 3 months. He has made a date, okay, in 3 months, we're going to start with 150 students. In that moment, we didn't have any accommodations. We didn't have anything like prepared. So he set a date. There was no, there's no pressure for him. He's like, oh, let's do. It is really funny and sometimes as well, because it's like a completely free bird. So I will give you another example for you to understand this. So here's like a cup of water, right? So asking about enlightenment is something like this. Let's say you are a person who has not drinking water in your life. You don't know what water feels like. So I'm going to drink some water and I'm going to explain to you how this water feels like. I can say, okay, it has a sensation in my throat when it goes down to my stomach. It is like hot, it is cold. I can say so many things. But you will not get the experience of drinking water. You will not know for sure what this experience feels like. What you can do to have this experience is you can drink some water and see for yourself. So the same thing applies in there as well. I can say so many things like, he's like that, he's like this, it's like this. So, but you will not understand this. What you can do is, you can drink some water and see for yourself. So going to a place, let's say, I will give another example. You want let's say our minds is like this. It is always shaking. If you take our mind, the water is always shaking. Okay? So this shaking water, you want to make it still. Right? So to make it still, you are doing even more things. You are doing like meditation, you are doing so many other things. But when you try to do something, it will flux even more. You want to make it still. To make it still, this fluctuating water, you want to make it still, and you're doing so many things to make it still. But none of that will work because it will flux even more. To make it still, what you have to do is you have to stop doing anything to it and be an observer. You can come outside and be an observer and it will automatically calm itself down. When people feel stress, when people feel depression, when people have anger, upsetness in themselves, they try to do so many things to get rid of that upsetness, to get rid of that sadness that they have. By doing so, they will flux it even more. The water will spill. But to really attain this bliss, to really attain this stillness, you have to stop doing anything to it and be an observer, and it will calm itself down automatically. Be an observer about how your mind works. Be an observer about how your attachments make you suffer in life. Do not ever try to see the things that is happening inside your mind from the outside world. You will have so many imaginations inside your mind. For some people, let's say I have an imagination I have a creation in my mind saying, okay, my neighbors are bad people. So when that thought becomes reality, when that thought becomes true to you, then you have a problem within yourself. Then you will suffer from yourself. So that is what is observing means. You have an expectation. You have a drawing which you drew of a demon, and you are believing that demon that you drew. So be an observer. If you observe it, it will calm itself down. Any more questions?
So I guess if you, a general person, so you don't believe that there are inherent emotions that are felt.
Inherent emotions.
Okay, so if most people who have baby, if I go up for baby and I do that, if I do long enough, that baby will be upset. You know, you can do this and both babies will then laugh, just you back. It's, still will be abandoned, I guess, by hiding your face.
Yes.
I would assume that most infants haven't experienced abandonment other than putting their hand in front of the face.
Yes.
An innate emotion.
Yes. They have.
Okay.
They have inherent emotions. Yes. But the problem comes now. That is okay. Okay. When they feel abandonment, they cry. But when you go in your life, when you become much older, you have given much more values to these things that you have experiences. You're going to react to those emotions that you have. You're going to divide these emotions that you have to be good and to be bad, to be hateful, to be the otherwise. So that is when this problem comes. That is when this problem, all of them start to arise. So I hope we did a good discussion today. So I would like to thank you all for coming to this place. And it was my pleasure as well to talk with you guys today. So we have done so many discussions like this, and those things are uploaded in the YouTube as well. So I'll give you the links. I'll share you the links. When you go back to your normal lives, if you have time, watch one of these 2-3 videos. If you have time, don't try to even after watching these things, don't try to remember anything. Just listen to them. If you understand that, that is okay. If you don't understand that, just let it go. So there's nothing to remember from this. There's nothing to write down and take notes from it. There's nothing as such. If you like driving, just put one in your car. If you like cooking, put one in the background, and let's be a casual listener. Don't try to come into judgments. Don't try to come into conclusions. Just be a free listener. And those links I will share it with you. So the other thing is, now it is said the tastiest, the spiciest cinnamon in the world, it grows near this down south. So we have cinnamon as well, and we have created a cup of cinnamon tea for you guys. It is not added sugar, it's just pure cinnamon. So we'll enjoy that cup of tea as well. And it was really nice meeting you all guys. And I bless you all for your future endeavors. Thank you.